Hi, I'm James Himm Mitchell, and I'd like to welcome you to this week's Oracle Outlook. This week, I'm going to be doing an angel card reading for the week starting March the 28th, 2016, so stay tuned. And here we are with the cards on the table, and for this week's angel card reading, I'm going to use 3 different decks. Over here on the far left, I have the Archangel Oracle cards. I'm going to pull 1 card from that. That's going to serve as the foundational energy for the week, and the Archangel that's going to be assisting us in that particular energy. Then I'm going to pull 3 cards for the week from the Daily Guidance from Your Angels Oracle cards. And then I'm going to round out the reading by pulling a tarot card from the Archangel Power Tarot cards. And turning my attention to the Archangel Oracle cards, I'm going to take the deck in hand, and I'm going to shuffle, and I'm asking Spirit and the Angels to show us what the basis for the week is, what the theme, what the foundational energies are. And the card jumped out, so that's always great. So we'll go with that. And the card is Creative Writing and is Archangel Gabriel. The card reads, make time to write down your thoughts in a journal or pen, an article, or a book. So for those of you who are creative writers, this is speaking directly to you. But if you believe that you are not a creative writer or that is not your bent, Archangel Gabriel is the angel of all forms of creative self-expression. So this is a week for us to consider what inspires us, what motivates us, what are we passionate about, and how can we get about working on that in some aspect this week. I sometimes see Archangel Gabriel being the chief messenger angel. It could be that we have something to say and we need to consider the medium, the form that we are going to convey that message. So if you are a writer, this is about writing. If you are into music, then that is your form of expression. And with that, I'm thinking more along the lines of being a vocalist, a singer, something of that nature, anything that you would use your voice for. And since I'm talking about voice, it could be that maybe you start off this week not being clear on what it is that you have to say. You may be believing erroneously that you don't have anything to say, or that nobody would want to hear what it is that you have to say. And those are thoughts that you have to allow Spirit and the angels to help you move past, because that's not the truth. We all are here and we all have something to say. And so it's about just getting in touch with the way you want to say it. Now, for instance, I'm a card reader. So for me, card reading is the way that I get to say what it is that I think is important. And the medium is working through the cards. Another medium would be making this video. The fact that I'm standing here making a video is another way of me communicating a message. So this week, again, it could be if you feel like you are creative, you're a writer, a singer, a painter even, any form of creativity. Creativity comes in all sorts of ways. Any way that you feel creative this week, you're being asked to be in touch with that. Archangel Gabriel is wanting to assist you with that. Archangel Gabriel is the angel of communication in the arts. So it could be one, it could be the other, it could be a combination of both. Like I said, it's about you getting in touch with your voice and how is it that you want to convey what it is you have to say. First off, what's your message and how do you want to say it? Now, the other part of that could be we may need to have important conversations and communications with other people this week. If that is the case, then we need to consider calling on Archangel Gabriel to give us the right and perfect words. Sometimes with these videos, I call on Archangel Gabriel specifically to help me with the right and perfect words to get my point across. Sometimes I'm confessing, I ask Archangel Gabriel to help me because sometimes I believe that I say things like, or, kind of make my speech a little more smooth or smoothly. So I call on Archangel Gabriel for assistance with that. So this week, we could call on Archangel Gabriel if we are feeling the need to have important conversations, then asking Archangel Gabriel to assist us with the right and perfect words. So that allows us to stand in our truth, to say what we need to say, but also in a way that gets our point across and allows us to be heard and understood. Sometimes when I'm calling on Archangel Gabriel, I will say, Archangel Gabriel, thank you for giving me the right and perfect words. Thank you for helping me understand the messages that come from other people and also from Spirit and the angels in a way that is clear and I can understand. And also too, in my communications, let me be clear and let me be understood by those who need to hear what it is that I have to say. So, again, it could be a form of creativity or creative expression. If it is not, then we need to be mindful of our conversations. The words that we are speaking, words carry power. And, be mindful of searching for and using the right and perfect words in our communications this week. And also, too, when we are having conversations and communication with Spirit, asking Spirit to give us the messages that we need to receive in a way that is clear and understandable. So that is everything that I'm seeing in terms of the creative writing card and Archangel Gabriel. So now we're going to turn our attention to the 3 cards that are going to form the reading for the week. And now turning my attention to the daily guidance from your angels cards, I'm going to shuffle the deck. And as I do, I'm asking the angels once again to help us in terms of gaining information that's going to be of assistance to us in moving us through the week. So I'm looking for cards to stick out. So the first card, which is this one, is going to represent the beginning of the week. Shuffling again. Second card is going to represent the middle of the week. And then one more time. Last card is going to round out the week. I'm going to take a moment to pan out. There we go. Okay. So the first card for the beginning of the week is relationship. So very interesting. Now, I had just said that we may need to have important conversations and communications. That would make perfect sense with the relationship card being the first card at the beginning of the week. So it could be like we need to be mindful of the words that we're using in all our relationships. One could think that when we are talking about the relationship card, we are talking about an intimate or personal relationship. But it could also be just your relationships with everyone you come in contact with, because we have all sorts of relationships and they all function on different levels and they have varying degrees of intimacy. So it could not just necessarily be a romantic relationship or a partnership in that degree. It could just be any significant relationship. Now I'm looking at the card and the first thing that catches my eye, it says your primary relationship is with yourself and God. So it could be making sure that what are the words that you're talking about yourself, to yourself. Sometimes we are so wrapped up in that the words that other people present us with or say to us, but sometimes we have to take a look at the words that we are using about ourselves. So be mindful at the beginning of the week, what are you saying about yourself? Are you saying things about yourself that's loving and kind and compassionate and you're being gentle with yourself? Or are you saying things that are hard and harsh and pulling you down and making you not love yourself, making you feel bad, making you feel wrong, making you feel guilt or shame? Because that's not helpful. That's not serving and supporting you. I'm looking at the card and I'm seeing the angel on a unicorn. The unicorn represents the magic of life. And so letting the magic of life move you forward, not letting things keep you stalled and keep you stuck. But I'm looking at this in terms of looking at the words that you are speaking about yourself and your relationship to yourself, because that is your primary relationship, and that is going to inform all your relationships, because you're going to attract people who are going to treat you the way that you treat yourself. So I'm seeing that for the beginning of the week. I'm taking a moment to look at the card one more time. Yes. Because it says here, every other relationship follows from there. So your primary relationship is with yourself and your creator. That could be your higher power, spirit, God, goddess, whatever you want to call that energy. But every relationship outside of that is formed and follows that relationship that you have with yourself. So you're being asked to really take a look at that. So I'm going to say two things with this card again. First is be mindful of how you're communicating with other people around you. But the underlying message here with that is also about how are you talking about yourself? How are you communicating yourself? What is your self-talk like? And so be mindful of that. It could also be in terms of the whole idea about creative self-expression. It could be how can you, if that is the magic, let's say the unicorn is your self-expression, if that's the magic, how can you get about moving that along? How can you move forward with that? Because I see the unicorn moving as a sign of progression, advancement, and moving forward. So how can you do that? So that's the beginning of the week. For the middle of the week, we have acceptance. Okay, so at the middle of the week, we may need to come to a place of acceptance. And acceptance is basically just saying, this is the way it is. And so it could be you have done all you can in a certain situation, especially in a certain relationship maybe. Maybe you've been actively trying to work on a relationship to improve it, to make it better. And you may get to a place at the middle of the week where you just come to a place of acceptance and saying, this is the way it is. You know, I've done everything that I can. And it's not acceptance from a place of resignation. It's a place from accepting what it is, because once you accept it, then you have the power to change it. It's like, or that once you come to a place of acceptance, then the energy of it changes on its own, because you are not actively engaging in trying to force something to happen. It's like sometimes we have to accept the way things are in order for it to change. The card reads, see yourself and others through the eyes of the angel with unconditional love. Remember now, the idea here is about communication. So it could be, again, making sure that you are using loving words, unconditional love, loving words, and acceptance. In this way, you inspire and lift everyone to their highest potential. So I'm seeing that. And it's very interesting because the angel here is surrounded by cherubs, which are the angels of love. And so it's about how can you present more loving energy, because the energy that you put out to other people is what you get back. So sometimes the most loving thing we can do is to accept people and things as they are. You know, sometimes when we are not willing to accept things, it's because we are putting a condition on it. Like, you know, I will only do this if you do blank kind of energy. Or I'll only be happy when this happens, or I'll only be happy when that happens. You know, we kind of put things off because we are expecting the conditions to be different. And so what you're doing is you may be delaying the inevitable. You may be putting off your happiness. Why would you do that? And then this card is saying to change that energy, to shift it, is to first maybe accept it the way it is, and then let that form of acceptance change it. You know, sometimes in order to be where we are not, we have to accept where we are. And so I'm just seeing that as a repetitive kind of thing here. But there's going to be a great need for acceptance this week. And so the other thing about the relationship you have with yourself, because I thought I was done, but they told me to go back. The relationship you have with yourself, sometimes there may be things about ourselves that we don't like. And so we may need to just accept some of those things about ourselves. And sometimes accepting those things can help us create the space to change it. But first you have to accept it, right? So I'm just saying that as we extend that with other people, the unconditional love, remember your primary relationship is with yourself, so you have to extend that to yourself as well. So that's the middle of the week. The end of the week, we have notice the signs. Okay. So basically, notice the signs is a message from the angels, is that to pay attention to the signs that they are going to be presenting to you, to us this week. The most common sign, going with the illustration here, the most common sign that the angels send are angel feathers. But the angels communicate and send signs in all sorts of ways. Now remember, going with the underlying energy of Archangel Gabriel is like we could call on the angels that if we are being sent signs, and of course the angels are always sending us signs, if we are being sent signs, then we can call on Archangel Gabriel to help us understand the signs in a way that is clear and understandable. So the end of the week is about noticing the signs that the angels are sending you. Call on Archangel Gabriel, who is the underlying energy of this week, to help us understand the signs, the messages, in this spirit and the intention in which they are being delivered. The card reads, yes, the signs you've been receiving are heaven sent. We drop feathers, coins, and other signs upon your path to remind you that you're loved and never alone. I'm looking here in the middle of the card, the acceptance. It's like there's lots of angels. There's the angels in the sky, and then there are fairies who are considered nature's angels. So we are surrounded by angels all the time, but are we noticing them, and are we noticing the signs that they are presenting to us to make us more aware of their presence and how they are always working in our lives? So that's notice the signs. So now we're going to turn to the tarot, and I'm going to pull a tarot card for the week. And now, turning our attention to the final card for the reading, I'm turning to the Archangel Power Tarot cards. I am going to shuffle the cards, once again asking Spirit and the angels, what do we need to know that we haven't touched on yet that could serve as final advice for the week? So I'm looking for a card that kind of catches my attention by sticking out. And let's see, I'm going to go with this one. So this card is the Four of Gabriel. So we started with Gabriel and we're ending the reading with Gabriel, so that's a very interesting sign. The Four of Gabriel represents progress being made. So this is the week where we are going to be making some progress, and I'm looking to the unicorn on the relationship card again, carrying that symbology about progression, advancement, and moving forward. There's going to be some progress made. A foundation is going to be laid, and as we move from one stage of completion, because this energy is about stages, as we move through one stage of completion and getting prepared to move into the next stage and work on something new, this card is asking us to take a moment and celebrate that progress. Here we have the couple on this stage in the gazebo. They're dancing, they're celebrating with all the flowers and the arrangements being made. They're celebrating this stage of their endeavor. Now, we talked about the relationship card, so now this card could be going with that, the idea of celebrating the stage of a relationship. Now, it could be a primary relationship, it could be a significant relationship, it could be an intimate relationship or partnership, because sometimes this card can be about, like, you know, you reach a certain stage in your relationship and you want to take it to the next level kind of thing. Sometimes I see this as cohabitation, so people moving in together. Some people could be celebrating a certain anniversary type energy, you know, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a wedding anniversary. It could be like honoring the anniversary of the day that you met or the day that you moved in. Some form of acknowledgement of some progression. So it could be that. It could also be a working relationship. Gabriel in Tarot is the suit that's assigned work and creative endeavors. So going with the idea that the first card was the creative writing card, it could be any kind of creative pursuit or creative endeavor that we have reached a certain stage with. We're being asked to move it to, or take it to the next level. I said move it. Or take it to the next level, because it's about moving to the next stage. You have laid the foundation is set, and now it's about building on that foundation. Now, this could also be people who are performers, literal performers, because the idea of performing on stage. So it could be, this is the week where you get to celebrate your work progress, or some stage performance or something of that nature, and you're being asked to celebrate that and having other people celebrate that with you. Because the thing about the Four of Gabriel is that we don't get anywhere by ourselves. The fact that there's a couple here represents a partnership. So we are always collaborating, we are always in partnership with people. Even if we're self-employed, like I'm self-employed, but I wouldn't be anywhere in my business without having, clients, and especially the clients who refer me to other people. So even though I'm self-employed, I'm a company of one, I don't get anywhere and I haven't made any progress in my business all by my lonesome. So this card is about celebrating progress, but also looking at the people who have been partnering with you in one form or another that have helped you get where you are, and also to the partnerships that you may want to keep in mind that are going to take you where you need to go from here. So, Four of Gabriel is about taking time to celebrate some form of progression this week. It could be a relationship. It could be a working relationship. It could be some sort of work performance. It could be, the idea of moving from one place to another, because sometimes this card is about like a home business or looking at real estate or property outside of the home, or creating a workspace in the home, but celebrating something significant. So this has been your angel card reading for the week. I am James Himm Mitchell. I'm signing off, and I want to thank you for joining me in this space for this week's reading, and I look forward to sharing this space here again with you in our next Oracle Outlook. And until then, hope you have a wonderful week and take care.